Let's bow our heads and place ourselves in the presence of the Lord. Dear Lord, we stand before you in humble prayer before we start this program. We realize that without your blessings, we would not be able to succeed with the plans we have for this activity. Bestow your grace and divine wisdom to all of us present here, so we could cooperate and enjoy camaraderie and love for the greater glory of your name. Bless also those we have left behind our homes. May you grant them peace and happiness as they go about their activities. Bless people around the globe that they may enjoy peace and the goodness of your love. We ask all these through your mighty name. Amen.
Pleasant good night to everyone that are tuning in on another, or I should say the second episode for the year 2024 of The Wrap. And I want to say thank you for being here with us once more again. First, I must apologize for the late start. We had a delay in the internet, but however, we back again, right? So nothing is going to stop us, despite what are the challenges. We are going to go through. We're going to go through it because at the end of the day, we need to have the information out there, right? So let me take this opportunity to say welcome and good night to all those once more tuning in. I see Horman Bacchus, good night to you, and thank you for tuning in. Let us know where you're tuning in from, and we can say a shout out to you. All those who are celebrating their birthdays, anniversary, whatever we want to say. Happy anniversary, happy birthday, whatever we want to say, happy whatever to you. So thank you guys for tuning in. Tonight we have a special guest here with us, Dr. Ryan Richards, who is also a councilman or also a councillor of the Linden municipality in Linden. So Mr. Richards is going to be joining us here in a very few. And we're going to have a little discussion on what transpired here in Linden today upon the visit of our president from Malafak, His Excellency Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali and team. We had Minister Egil, Bishop Juan Egil, Minister Susan Rodriguez, we had Minister Indar, and let me see who else I can recall. But we had a solid team here today. And apart from that, we had a massive turnout there today. Lindeners came out in support. Lindeners came out to see what is there to benefit, what they will be benefiting. And as we know, it's about the new 4-lane bridge across the Demerara River. For a matter of fact, somebody hit me up and said, hey, that is unprecedented because we've never seen something like that. Imagine we're going to be having two bridges simultaneously building across the Demerara River, and that rings a bell in my ears because it's what we're talking about development all the time. A present good night to my dear brother Chris Thakur Prasad. Thank you for joining in, Chris. Share the live as you're joining, guys. Vishram Patrick, good night to you, my brother, and thank you, guys. So don't let me delay any further. I will now bring my guest on screen, and he will be here to discuss with us tonight. So good night to you, Dr. Richards, and it's a pleasure to have you here tonight. How are you, sir?
Good night, good night, good night to everyone. First of all, I wish you guys all the best here. Year started quite a kick, right? But we're doing well. I'm doing fine. I'm very happy, very excited.
Okay. Doc, I think we having a little sound problem. I think we hear you a bit low, so I don't know if you want to come in a bit closer or something.
All right.
So,
I can adjust that. You hear me better now?
Yeah, we're getting you better now. So good night to my good friend here, Leola Narain. That is our Deputy REO of Linden, Region 10. Very hard-working young lady, and I know she's going to fulfill all that is there to be done, that is being requested by the people, and also she will expedite instructions being given from the higher level. So good night to you, Ms. Narain, and continue doing a wonderful job. Remember, what God has in plan for you, no man can stop. So good night to you as well. So thank you guys for sharing in and tuning in, guys. Share the live because we have here with us our counselor here. So, Councilman, first thing and foremost, what are your sentiments on our president visit here today? You know, I am so overwhelmed. Right before you come in,
Yes,
I
yes.
want to speak today. Today the president went on. I tell you, I've seen. Let me say, I've seen Irfan to his best today. You know, it was like he was. They call it the beat and teach. It was like the beat and teach. And today he direct his focus on while beating. He was teaching the original chairman Darren Adams, who could not have even raised his head to look at the president because he wasn't beaten in a bad way, but he was giving him the facts while he was teaching him from the good book as well. And Darren Adams, of all persons, should know better. I'm glad the president pressed it in him today because Darren is a young man that him and I grew up together from very small, and his
Okay.
father was a very outstanding leader in this community. Pastor Adams, I know him very well. So Darren had some schooling today by the president, and I see he could not even raise his head, and in the end of it, although he have his leader of the opposition who don't like shake hands, I saw him at the end of it. The president said, "Come on, Darren, shake my hands," and he could not have resisted it because there were talks of developments while there were instructions and teachings. But how you felt today, especially as a counselor, as a leader in the community, how you felt about that today?
Well, my feelings today were of many. Excited, overwhelmed. I was mostly excited, right? Like you said, our president, which I love and I support so much, he came in like a principal today. The principal walking on the hallway with the cherry whip, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, right. The president today, on a momentous occasion, um, as he was speaking, delivered a feature address. He delivered some facts, not some, a lot of facts, cleared up a lot of misconceptions.
Exactly.
And yeah, I was very, very happy about that because even there were information there that I didn't even know. So I learned as well from the president himself today when he spoke, right? And the you were mentioning about our regional chairman Darren Adams. Yeah, I know him well as well. You are not so far off from me because I grew up with him as well. I attended the church. Pastor Adams, a remarkable man of God, right? And I have respect for him, the family as well. So, but today was a very momentous day. We're going to have a 4-lane bridge, first time ever going to be erected in Linden very soon. And this project, a very large project in Linden, is going to be undertaken by our PPP administration. And it's going to bring a lot of benefits, a lot of relief to the commuters in Region 10, which I'm very, very proud of.
Yes, yes, yes. And I don't know if persons understand the extent of development, or they understand how important it is for this 4-lane bridge. One of the things that the president highlighted, and I like the way that he breaks it down so that persons can understand the previous administration. And I heard, for a matter of fact, it was Minister Edgel who said it. He said, "I don't want you to misunderstand me or feel anyway as though we're saying that you didn't do anything." But he said that you or the previous administration, yes, indeed, they come up with an idea that they're going to build a 2-lane bridge, right?
Yes,
And
that was
when the PPP administration took office, based on the level of development, of the
yes,
capacity of development in a very short space of time, right? We see that the 2-lane bridge is not even enough, right? So this
yeah,
government started best for a 4-lane bridge,
yeah. That is
right?
one of the things I admire with the administration. I admire their ability to see beyond, because they were able to see beyond and see into the future and know. Because when you see that project that is also being executed with the highway straight to Brazil, so you'll be able to drive it straight from Georgetown straight into Brazil on that road, which will be finished in a timely manner. And they could have seen into the future and know that the amount of commuters and traffic that's going to pass through Linden, bringing a lot of opportunities to our business people and a lot of other markets, and all of this will be available. For example, trucks coming through from Brazil, they're going to need rest. They're going to need rest stops. They're going to need gas stations. We're going to need hotels so people who want to stay over. We're going to need people to provide food for these people, so we're being poised in a place where we can provide so many services to people traveling along that road. And our government had the foresight to know a 2-lane bridge just can't cut it, right?
Exactly.
You're gonna see vehicles passing through Linden you probably never even seen before. Exactly. Right? And you have to accommodate for these things, trucks and all of these vehicles of that nature. You're gonna have to accommodate for that, and a 2-lane bridge just can't cut it.
Yep. And that alone speaks for itself. When you look at the actual idea of a 2-lane to a 4-lane bridge, it speaks of your level of mentality. It speaks to your thinking as a government or as a leadership, providing or preparing the nation for the future. So you still in this mentality of a 2-lane bridge because you see, there's a high traffic buildup. We know that there's a high traffic buildup on the bridge. So they were only thinking, we're going to make it easier for Lindeners, right? Because why? We're going to make a 2-lane so y'all could get to travel. So they were just thinking in the box. They don't think outside of the box. But this government started best to see that, look, bro, we are building a massive highway, multi-million-dollar highway there, heading straight to Latam, straight to Brazil, right? And this is what we call visionary thinking, according to my friend here, Mike Beacom. It's visionary thinking because, like you said, Doctor, we're going to see massive traffic coming through there because I know the minister spoke of the upgrading of the road, even from the bridge going right up to the junction at the Wizrock Junction there. That road will be open wider to actually a 4-lane as well, because it will be heavy traffic as well. And one of the thing that amazed me for after a long time, because most of the time I was flying in and out to Latam and Brazil, but the other day I decided to drive in with my car, and brother, I'm telling you, I took less than 2 hours. It must be about an hour and 25 minutes from Linden to 58 Mile Mabur Road, right? And that is history, because at one time from 47 Mile Mabur Road to 58, you actually used to take like about 2 hours because of the condition of the road. I could afford to drive my car from Linden to Latam, from Latam to Brazil to Boa Vista. You understand? And that is the kind of link we want.
Let me give you some insight on that too, Kevin. When we heard about this road that is going to be built to accommodate from Brazil, you can travel through this part of Guyana all the way to Georgetown. There's a reason for that. Many people would not know. And I think many Guyanese will not understand the vastness of the country Brazil. Mm-hmm. Now, in the cities that are to the southern part of Brazil that are close to Latam there, Manaus, you got Bonfim. Now, for there to get cargo, right, and you get it from if I'm not mistaken, they got a port in Rio de Janeiro. And I was told by one friend at the time that normally travels there, I think his wife was Brazilian, that to drive from Bonfim to Rio de Janeiro, it takes like about, I think, maybe 1.5 weeks to 2 weeks to drive there on road. The country is so large. That's how large it is. So
Yeah, yeah.
it's actually a win for Brazil for them to have to travel from, if you travel from through Lethem, through Linden to Georgetown, it's a shorter time. You save time, and we all know time is money. So it's actually better for them. They come to the ports, they get access to the ports in Georgetown where they can, get the cargo and whatever, and they head back up to Brazil. It's easy for them.
Yeah, yeah. And the other thing, Doc, I look on as it relates to the road. From the time that road started in a very short space of time, I was surprised that we already have approximately over 100 kilometers of roads already completed, right? When I went in there, I drove in there last time. Me and my son was driving, and we were counting the bridges, precisely 45 bridges, from Linden going to Lethem,
To let
and
them, yeah.
and 45 bridges under construction, and most of them, I can say most of them are already completed, right?
Yeah.
I saw somebody made a post the other day, and they were talking about why some of these bridges taking so long, right? Because the alternative roads or bridges are damaging. But we have to understand, especially doing concrete work, these things, this is a process. You can't just pour concrete and put foundation and then put bridge and drive across, because why? It's going to damage in a very short space of time. You have to allow it. You have to allow it to cure, right? So
Yeah.
people have to trust the process and trust the time, because we can't just we just can't do things wild, because we can next thing you know, the bridge break again. You're gonna hear the government billing, they're doing substantial
Yeah.
work, and
Yeah.
so I understand we can't please everybody. Even God couldn't please us as human beings. So we have to trust the process. There's a time, but the main thing, we are seeing progress.
Progress.
I was surprised,
And
every single bridge are under construction,
mhm,
and some completed already, right? So
yes.
we have to, just trust the process. We have to trust the process. So that 4-lane bridge, bro, let me tell you, I'm going to be dreaming of that bridge many nights, because sometimes when you're driving across the Mackenzie Bridge right now, you want to believe it's the Harbor Bridge you're going across. Something across the
You
Harbor Bridge.
feel the bolts moving as you go across. You feel the bolts moving. Yeah, I know. I drive there every day.
Yeah, but I like myself, I walk around, and I heard the sentiments of Lindeners specifically. People were so happy. People were so happy to know that this is finally going to happen. This is not a bluff thing, and like the president said, this is not an election thing, right?
Yes.
Right. This is not the election thing. Elections are next 2 years. This is one of the government's manifestos plan, right? Promises, for matter of fact, right? And therefore they are fulfilling that, right? And like I heard the minister would have said that this $35 million US bridge, 4-lane bridge, that project will be started very soon. So, Lindeners, we can assure you that this is not a political promise, or this is not a PBP political promise. This is a promise, a manifesto plan, a manifesto promise. For a matter of fact, a government going into office, they took office, and they have to fulfill their promises, just like how they would have fulfilled all.
Yes.
And I think also that some of these same bridge and so on that are going into constructions, these are just the edgings now. I call it the edgings because I believe that the government so far in 3 years have already completed 99% of their manifesto promises. I believe that is based on what I see. That is my opinion, but I don't know what is your opinion of that. Hey.
Yeah, we have seen a lot of development countrywide. But I like to focus my lens primarily on Linden, where we have lots of development, and and which will lead to a lot of transformation taking place. Now, like you mentioned, the Wismar Mackenzie Bridge in particular is a very critical part of our everyday lives as commuters, as people who drive every day to get to see, you got to go for me, right? For example, I get to see my son, my mother, and so on. It's a critical aspect of daily life. And we also, you mentioned about the bridge currently in its state that it's in. They're steadily have to keep maintaining, fixing it. Every time you drive, the middle span always has an issue. And it also stands as a critical element because it also links our road networks through Linden and even to the extension further out to the entire country, right? Because to go to many places, you got to pass through Linden, right? And exactly. A new 4-lane bridge will accommodate a lot of more traffic coming through Linden for the interior, people coming from Georgetown to, like Bakewell to sell bread and do these other companies coming in. It's more accessible, right? You don't have that waiting time during peak hours where you got this long line going all the way to the washer. Yeah, so I think it is a critical part of our everyday lives, which will be in progress real soon. I'm very happy about it.
Yeah, and one of the thing I admire today, that is that I always believe there's a time and a place for everything, and I like the idea of which the president put his message over, not in a discriminatory manner. There wasn't any form of attack, but he was just giving you the facts. He was putting it out there. Right?
Yes.
And also, I was happy to see, we have MP Figueroa were there. We had MP Sears, regional chairman. You had the vice chairman. You had the deputy mayor. Well, I heard there was an issue with the deputy mayor. Right?
Okay.
I want to apologize on the government's behalf for the deputy mayor who was not obliged with a seat as the front. Right? So he met me at the 5 corner. And he said, Larmo, you government cruel and disrespectful. I said, what happened? He said, a man put me in the front seat because I had on a green shirt. I said, why what nonsense you talking? The president's secretary had on a green dress, and he outlined it. He outlined it. And, speaking of that, right? Speaking of that, I want to run this little clip because I think this clip is very important for them, this particular one.
Policy making is a development.
Sorry.
The day we allow color to define our thinking, we destroy who we are. We destroy our purpose. We destroy our vision. We destroy our approach to development.
So you see that, right? So I think the deputy mayor felt very hurt because he was not obliged with a seat at the front. I don't know why. I don't know why. I can't speak for that, but I took the blame. I took the blame with the government. I said, buddy, you see the city Parker. We had a lot of special guests there and so on, And then I was even told because of that there was some form of victimization in your council. Probably you.
I am of the opinion that it's a very childish move. We saw a statement by our town clerk that the mayor acting has refused to sign vouchers, which will result in payment of salaries for, I think, the sanitation workers, the drivers, and another category of workers. So they won't get their money. And I was like, man, this is so uncalled for. You're affecting the daily lives of fellow Lindeners. And we're coming off of the festive season where a lot of people have invested money. They spent a lot over the festive season. So they will need their finances, and you've put them in a position now where they can't get their money. So
I call it childish. I call it childish. I don't see any reason for it. If there's a reason for it on his, he needs to come forward and say why that was done. But I don't think he can give any explanation to suffice as to why you refuse to sign so that the staff of the mayor and city council, town council, can get their monies. I don't know.
Well, sometimes I said, sometimes I say that some people have some very short memories, but I didn't think that was intentional today. It's just because the Londoners came out in numbers, so the seats were occupied. So that's how we didn't get the seat. Not like what happened at the 50th anniversary independent, when they intentionally leave no seats for the main opposition. Then PPP then were in opposition. They try to have those main opposition member of parliament sit at the back, and I didn't hear nobody from the PPP complain about it. But so the poor people the people who would have worked and looking forward for their salary, they felt, or they were victimized because apparently they didn't because a man wasn't obliged with a seat at the front. But that is so childish. That is so childish. Like you're right.
Because today we indeed had a very massive turnout. We had a powerful turnout. I was, before the event began, I was at the front, and I looked across at the crowd from the front as far as I can see, and the display was very pleasing to me when I saw MP Jeremy Figueira there, the regional chairman, and everyone was there. And actually, the mayor acting, he was actually seated in there for some time, right? So it's not like he came, saw that there was no seat in his leg. He was sitting there. He was seated there for a while. I saw him sitting.
Okay. Well, that's so sad. One of the things I listened to some of the messages. There were a lot of messages. This is why I call it a beat and teach. But there were also a lot of messages, strong messages that the president sent there today. And, one of them that get back to me. And I think that this must be highlighted as well, because this is something it continuously happens, especially here in Linden. I know we try not to bash, and we're not bashing anybody here tonight, but we must highlight these things so persons can understand. Now, this particular message that the president sent, let me just run this clip.
And you know what annoys me and upset me the most? When people try to insult you, the people of this region, by telling you that you're reaching for handout and you're reaching for the bribery. Election is 2 years from now, 2 years from now, and then after that we go back into office. You gotta wait a long time after that. Election is 2 years from now. Don't let people insult you by telling you that you're looking for handout and bribe. This is your entitlement from a government that has been elected to serve you.
And that's a very strong message, because we know that happened here in Linden. I personally heard this from senior members of the opposition, and telling people, y'all don't go there, don't collect them money, and all kind of nonsense. Oh, they want to bribe you, they give you handouts, and so I wanted to know if well, I can't say they didn't even give any handouts as they consider it on the side, right? Right. So I was going to say, but the thing of it, a government is there, right, to serve you, the people, and these that they consider handouts or bribery. All these were part of the government's, the PPPC manifesto, 2020 manifesto promises. You understand? And this helped to alleviate poverty. So I don't see why the government giving you something, you have to tell them people always handouts and all these things. Come on, and I feel that is something that we had to highlight here tonight because people need to understand, and like the president said, this is your government, and you are entitled.
We're entitled.
You are entitled.
Yeah,
Whether
that
this
is-
government or any government, you are entitled to it.
Yeah, that is just the way of them, the naysayers who call it a handout. For example, the administration would from time to time they would have these programs where you do they distribute these small business grants. Understand what a grant is. You don't have to repay it as a loan. It's a grant, right? But these grants are intended to serve as a sort of economic injection to help people with their small business to better themselves, to potentially expand their business so that they can be more self-sufficient, But if the government comes with this, this policy or they want to do this strategy to alleviate some of the economic strain in Region 10. And then you tell the people, oh, no, it's an handout. It's a bribe, blah, 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 blah. Just so you can deter them from taking. It tells me that you want to see the people stay in poverty, right? And that is not a good message to send to the people who regularly vote for you.
Exactly. So it's like, the thing of it is so hypocritical to say that you can't even give me a cup of water and my neighbor is offering me something to eat and you tell me I wouldn't accept it.
Exactly.
Come on, we need to. I call that petty politics, and they need to desist from it because it still happens. I can tell you, of recent, it still happens. Why I said so? We know we had some recent DNI work, drainage and irrigation works going on in the communities and so on. And I was driving down the road and I accidentally stopped at where a crew were talking. And one of them in the crew who was working there, actually he didn't see me behind him, but he was like the leader of the gang. He went on, he was like, y'all don't bother this, this is just this is political gimmicks. And the thing of it, he working there with them, he skin more clean than everybody. He's not in there. He wait until when the contract done, he get $40,000. We can work for within 2 days or less. You understand? And he there preaching, and that's the critical part of it that I can't understand. You are benefiting from it as well, and you're still cussing it down. So we have to be thankful. We have to be thankful.
Region 10, man.
And mind you, this same drainage and irrigation project, it was launched by who was president, Dr. Mohamed Fanali, in 2014. It was him, right?
Yeah.
And that is something that helps a lot of people here in the
program. Yes, remember.
Right. So apart from that, Doc, like like I said, there were some other messages sent. I like this one as well. That let me just run this.
Policy making is about providing leadership through policies. It's about providing direction through policies. It is about creating opportunities through policy.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yes. I guess some persons don't understand what is the meaning of policy making, and I'm speaking specifically of these, right? But tonight, like you said, we want to keep it clean. We don't want to get dirty with anybody. But we just let them know that we can get dirty anytime.
For a certain level, policy making when it comes to that statement, because to echo the sentiments of our president, we at the mayor and town council, the municipality, right at this level of governance, local government, we are in local government at that level, and as councillors, when we gather for a meeting or committee meeting where those same policies that they speak of are enacted to be of benefit to the people of the community. For example, I will share one with you. You see that barricade that you have now at the Wismar Mackenzie Bridge on the Mackenzie side. There is a reason why that barricade is there now, and that was because of a simple policy that was mentioned by my colleague, Ms. Councilwoman Sanchez. We have observed that, but sadly, the drivers are still doing it. You are waiting in line, right, to cross the bridge, and drivers just
Exactly.
they pick the line, they bore in the line. Now you gotta wait till they fit themselves in, whoever let them in. So she mentioned, what if we can put a barricade to try to prevent people from doing that? The barricade was placed, but people still doing it. The drivers, man. But I'm just giving you an example of how policies can be made and how they can be put into place. When they go to statutory meeting, we vote on it. It can become a policy that we can do for the people in the community, so that we can bring some sort of comfort to their lives, something that will benefit them in terms of the services that we provide for them on the municipal level.
Okay. Well, Doc, I always say that sometimes things have gone wrong for so long that doing the right things seems wrong, right? And I believe
Yeah.
some of
I know
these things are left too long and it get out of hand. That when you try to correct people,
hard to correct it. Yeah, I know.
yeah, they said. But I believe in time and in educating people and speaking with them.
Yes,
you
the
know,
very component.
yeah.
Education of the people. Because a lot of people, they do a lot of things against certain policies which are created, and and some of them just do it blatantly. But there's some people that genuinely don't know. Because I've seen correspondence come to the Mayorton Council with people writing letters, and they write letters apologizing for building on a reserve because they didn't know the procedure. They weren't educated. So now that they know, they would like to do things the right way. And it speaks a lot, right? So we now are in a position where we have to try our dearest to try to educate the people about certain things as it comes to local governance, right? For example, I can give you one example. When it comes to environmental aspects, there are lots of environmental aspects that affect the municipality. Garbage collection, dumping of garbage. You have people who are rearing agricultural produce in the form of meat products. What I'm speaking of is, for example, people who have a pig pen. Now, you're living in a community with someone near to you raising 15 pigs. That in itself is against policies because, number one, when you get a land from the Ministry of Housing to build a 50 by 100 plot to build a house for residential purpose, it states in your sales of agreement that you should not use that land for farm and agricultural produce. And many people don't know that because they don't read.
Exactly.
Right? So now people are rearing pigs in close proximity to each other, and some people don't even care. They don't even clean the pens. They don't even give us the justice of cleaning the pens. And then the whole neighborhood is just unpleasant. And these things can cause a proliferation of disease. People can get sick, right? But it has been gone unchecked for so long that we have to sit down now at council, put it together and find out a way to solve it.
Well, and like I said, things gone around for so long, in some communities, and then we have to bear in mind too, right? Some of these people try to use their contacts. Some of them got somebody that they could call, right?
Everybody,
so they feel that they is above the law. They are above the law, right? And I'm very much I don't like to see something like that. I don't care whichever or whatever links you got. if we don't go by the laws, if we don't go by the rules and the regulations, we are, our own environment is deteriorating gradually.
Yeah,
And
we are
not
no,
only
we are no. The
exactly,
law is there for a reason. We put policies, strategies in place for a reason. People should abide by the law, abide by policy and strategies so that we can maintain order. Order is very important so that the society can function to its optimal peak, right?
exactly.
We always out of order in this.
Exactly. So Doc, I know there's a lot more we can, gaps like this we can go on and go on. There's a lot more that we can talk about.
Yeah,
There is so much, the amount of development that we can talk about right now. It's gonna take us at least by 2025 before we come off this program. It's too much development to talk
we didn't
about.
even talk about all the roads being built yet.
Exactly, this is what I'm saying. Like I said on my program last night, I live in Linden and I done last in Linden already because why? I driving through roads. No, literally, I'm serious. Some roads in the Amelia's ward, right? I driving through these roads and I was like, I went through this road the other day and I literally was driving in potholes deep down. And now,
Yeah.
sometimes some of the holes you driving down, you go down, the sunlight fade away and then you come back and you get back the sunlight. That's how big was these potholes, right? And we talking about a region. We talking about a town, a region that is predominantly APNU, AFC, or PNC or whatever, and nothing was done. So we're seeing now under this administration.
That is why I love this. I love our administration so much. That right there, regardless if Linden or Region 10 is predominantly voting solidly for the APNU AFC, it is of no consequence. We are still going to work to bring development to this region. Right now in Blueberry Hill, there are concrete roads built where there was never a road in history. There was just sand. I'm telling you this. If you don't believe me, you can just drive in by Pato Garner and on your second left, just turn and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Nice. You see, like my friend Leo Narain said here, a lot of development come to Linden. Brace yourself, total transformation.
Yes,
I feel it's more than brace yourself. You gotta fasten your seatbelt because you can't catch up, right? But I really need to take a tour in Linden because I feel I'm losing track.
To the
I'm losing
Wisma
track.
Show. The Wisma Show.
And where's my home? Where's my shore? I grew up on Poker Street. Even to Poker Street, you go through there, you last now, because development is all over, right? So,
Yeah.
and that is why I use the term to say that I believe that this government would have fulfilled 90% of its manifesto's promises to the people of this country. And in the next year, they will be completed. All will be completed, right? I was looking at, I can't remember the number precisely, but I think it was over 29,000 house lots so far distributed, something like that. I was like, what?
It was a lot. I don't remember the exact number either, but it was a lot. It was a lot.
It was a lot. It's unprecedented.
We're on the verge right now of embarking on Plantation York, where they're going to do the young professional housing project. So it's another set of houses coming there. We're going places.
Exactly. So before you go, Counselor, I can't let you go without. Could you give us a hint? How are you doing so far? How are your challenges within your municipality? I'm hoping that something good is going on in there. Or is it the normal thing?
Well, we're working. Myself, Councilwoman Halley, we are working strong, representing the People's Progressive Party, Civic, also representing people of Linden, right? Really well, I know most of Linden would have known by now that we have a new clerk at present. He has stated his devotion and willingness to work to ensure that Linden gets better and develops
on the municipal level. Myself and Ms. Harley, we're going to work furiously with him as well so that we can implement the different policies, bring it to the table. If it gets shut down, well, because I know we don't have the majority there, but we are there to represent the people of Linden, right? Just today, I have to say this. Just today, after the president would have spoken, I was speaking to a representative of the 1 Mile Primary School, and they brought back an issue again because they wanted me to make representation for them, which I did, about turning the road in front of 1 Mile Primary School into a walkway as a security measure, a safety measure for the children, right? But I mentioned at a statutory meeting that passed only Wednesday there, and the town clerk has given some advice and direction on that issue. So we're going to pursue that, but not just for 1 Mile Primary, right? I think we should do that for all the schools around Linden, because a lot of the children are young. They're not familiar with the proper way of crossing the road as yet. So we want to make sure that they're safe, right? We don't want any accidents or any tragedies to occur. You want to keep our children safe. So when we talk about policy making, that is what we're going to be working on. So at the municipal level, we got a little bit of an issue when it comes to staffing in some departments, for example, environmental. I think we need to do some pickup there, right, to get that department running to full capacity, right? We got a bit of an issue where for me personally, when I drive around Linden, I'm so conscious now of the whole council environment that every time I'm on the road, I'm looking, somebody, oh man, he's building on the pavement. Oh Lord, no. Did he get permission for that? I'm always like that. So, but we see a lot of wrongdoings in people. Sometimes I'm afraid to go and even ask and communicate with them, because some people, they're so aggressive when it comes to certain things that you don't want to. So I normally would come to, send it to the councillors, and ask if anybody knows about this, everybody knows about that. But we're trying our best, right? And for the rest of the year, with our new TC, we will be able to be more effective and as we move on.
Speaking on that, Council, I worked taxi a number of years, a very long time. And two things I want to raise to you here. I have the opportunity I don't have to make an appointment because I have a council here.
Yeah,
So
sure.
you can make some form of representation.
See me on the road, you can see me.
Right. One of the worrying thing is that the park, just as you turn at the arcade area there, by where the Chinese supermarket is, right? Or it's on the Mackenzie Wharf there, right? That area going back to, let us say, where Crescent used to be. Crescent is now a Chinese supermarket as well.
Yes.
That area there, for a number of years, we have known that area as the Hayekar Park, right? And when they started the Linden to Georgetown route with the cars, right? They bring those cars there, and it caused a whole big problem. And I believe that some adjustments should be made there. Those cars should be placed back to the Linden Georgetown bus park, right? That's a bus park there. They hardly have buses now. Those cars should be placed there, because you're depriving the hire car operators, and also you're depriving the customers there, because persons coming out from the market and they're looking for a taxi. Sometimes the people have to walk with the bag till up the road, going by Adams Boat Landing, right? And I'm still gonna stand in support of that as a former hire car operator there with those hire car operators, because that needs to be arranged. But I don't know why and who put that system in place, but I can tell you that system is something that is unfair to the hire car drivers. Apart from that as well, the river wall, that wall there was upgraded, and they said that it's for tourism purposes, and which I agree, that's an environment for tourism purposes. And that's why the hire cars are even more better there, because the Dashtown cars, they trust me, when you go there, they are disorderly, right? You know, they hear them cussing up and fighting and all these things. And if that is a tourism site, people traveling to live there just to see that river, it doesn't sound good, it doesn't look good, right? They park the car anyhow, they block off the traffic and all these things, right? That river wall needs to be cleaned up. You have people come in and put their stall on the river wall now. People occupying direct on the pavement as well. When you walk in, you have to walk around from there, shop, and then go around the other side, right? Today I was going to park in front by the Chinese supermarket. That's the one where Chinatown used to be. When I go, I see space. When I go to swing in there, there is a big cooler open with sheer, what do you call it? This new tin, it's like a rum in the tin. What do you call it again? Cabisa. A whole cooler there and take up a whole parking space. That's the mentality of these people, and then the river wall now are now taken up by sheer stalls. This is not healthy. It is unfair to the environment, and I think people need to comply. And that's why I used the term earlier. Things have gone wrong for so long, right? The previous administration or the previous council, right, sits and allow those people to step in there piece by piece. So now it's a hard time for this new council to remove them. But I believe there are laws and rules and regulation, and the council can operate. And we need to clean up that area, man. It's not.
Well, first we have to put it to the appropriate committee, have it up for deliberations, and then find out the current state, which you've given me a description of the current state of the affairs there. But at the appropriate committee, we can have deliberations about that. And from there on, find a way forward and potentially bring it to full council for voting. Right?
And council, I don't believe that is a long process, because I believe there is some form of documentations in there which stipulates that those persons should not be there. So I believe that document in place. Yeah.
We can look into that.
All they need now is enforcement. You understand?
Yes. That's always a problem as well. When you may have the best idea, but enforcement is always an issue. How do you enforce it? If you're going to put a no dumping sign and a garbage bin there, how do you enforce it? People still, if you put a garbage bin, people still would dump next to it.
That is why I like former Minister Dharmlal when he was minister, right? He had a system where he started locking up people. I believe there is a law, if I'm not correct, I believe there's a law where if you've been caught dumping, you have to pay a fine of over $100,000, something like that. We need to get serious on this, because this is a country that is being highlighted as the #1 eco-tourist destination in the world. And we still have people operating as though they're living in the 18th and the 19th century, where they dump garbage, do what they want, and that is why we believe we elect people like you, right? And then again, I know it's going to be a little hard for you to counsel, because here why. On the other hand of it, the politics get in. Because like I said, somebody knows somebody and then got to the mayor, and then the mayor can tell him, here, what can go there. Well, I'm not saying this mayor will do it, but this is what I know happened before. The mayor said, well, you go there and protest. Then you hear, they're not going to say this councillor or this body, they're going to say, the government fighting black people from making a daily living.
Well, you see, all of that's what I was trying to say earlier. All of this stems from educating the populace. Right? Exactly. It's very distasteful. I've noticed this a lot around Linden. Anytime there's a gathering, when people leave, you got bottles here, food boxes there, bags. I'm like, why are people feeling so comfortable that they can just throw things right? I don't really understand. Maybe I've spent too long overseas. I don't know. But we got to do better as people. And I think first we have to start with education. Education is very important.
Education and then enforcement.
Yeah, well, yes.
Right? You gotta be very strict with these people. Look, I have my 2-year-old son, 2-year-old, in the home, and if he eats something, when he finish, he's going and look for the bin to dump it. If he's in the car, he eats something, he's gonna put it right on the floor or put it in the pocket. He would never throw it out the car. My 7-year-old daughter. Because why? This is what we instill in them. This is what we teach them.
That is good. That is good.
Right? And that is why the changes that we want to see, we got to start individually from our home. That's how we can change the environment. Right? But the others now, I don't believe too much education will do for them. I believe enforcement, drastic measures put in place. Right?
You got the type of people who are a little bit ignorant, but with a little education, they become aware of their ignorance and they're willing to change. But then you have those who will never change. So like you said, enforcement comes to deal with those kind of people, where we catch you littering, we fine you 50,000, 100,000. I'm pretty sure the next time you will not litter because you won't have to part yourself from your finances just because of litter. Right? So that's where the enforcement part will have to take hold.
Well, Doc, listen from you tonight. I even have more confidence that the people would have made the right choice by voting for you as a councillor, and I have confidence in my other fellow colleague, my councillor from Halifax, and I believe that you guys are going to do a wonderful job in there, providing that you have people with your level of thinking, your level of, or your mentality that you want to see a brighter future, you want to see a cleaner Linden, you want to see,
that is my dream is to see Linden move forward in such a way that we can blossom potentially one day into city status, right?
Exactly.
And a lot of things have to change for that to occur. But
sorry if I interrupt. Talking about that, right? I was in Brazil the other day in Bovista, and that's our neighboring country. And I have that video on Facebook. And I was surprised that I went into a market area, just like the arcade. And these people are well uniformed, right? Almost every stall has a dustbin, right? Yeah. And you know what? It's not their council put the dustbin, Every individual there have a dustbin. You know why? Enforcement, because you know what they said? If we get caught dumping the garbage, they can charge we. So we're going to get we drum. We drum and we can throw we garbage here. And look at this. The people don't just throw the garbage, buddy. These people have a bag. They probably take the garbage inside and they tie the bag. And then I see the council have a little tractor thing, a 3-wheel thing with a like a little motorbike and a tractor. And the man come there and he dumping it. That's from the council. No.
Yeah. Well, you see, before we even reach to that part, we can make it policy. We can make it policy that every stall must have a bin. If you don't have a bin, we're going to find some other way.
Exactly. And I think that is something that you should jot down there, make it a policy. Because you have to put some form of enforcement. Right? That is the only way you can put. The only way they must come to you and blame you is when the garbage is not being moved in a timely manner.
Right? Garbage point is a sore point in the municipality.
Exactly. And I don't know why they never get it right. They never, for my time, from the time I am community sensitized or my eyes are open then to the community, Linden always have a garbage problem, right? And that alone speaks for itself. If we go down the line, we can get political. That alone speaks for itself. All right.
A can of worms you don't want to open. So
Exactly. So, Doc, I once again want to say thank you for being here tonight. And I believe that, like myself, many other of our Lindeners and even people around the country um, would want to see their councilmen and councilwomen, have the same kind of drive and the push that you and our councilwoman have. She should be here. Councilwoman will be on the program sometime in the new week, right? So people get to hear from her as well. But I believe that you guys doing a tremendous job. So, any closing remarks before we close?
well, I would like to thank you for having me on your program. It's always a joy to come on and interact with the fans and the general populace out there, give them an update of what is going on. I just want to say thanks, and we're going to keep working for you, Linden.
All right. So, Councilor, once again, thank you. Thank you for being here tonight, and we definitely will keep in touch.
All right. God bless.
So, guys, that is Councilor Dr. Ryan Richards. I forgot to mention as well, the councilor is also a dentist, and he works very hard here at Linden as well, providing the service in helping our people as well. So thank you guys for being here tonight. I hope you enjoy the program, and please remember to share the live. And I hope that we have touched any bad spots here tonight. But like I said, this program are just for informational and educational purposes, and it's not to attack. But don't take that for granted, because when we have to come for you, we will. So thank you guys for being here with us tonight once more, and I will see you back on Monday, same time, same place. Well, for a matter of fact, I should be out of the district. I'm not too sure, but once I'm out, I will let you guys know. I'm supposed to be having a program on Sunday afternoon, because it's from Monday to Friday, and on Sundays from 5 and beyond, right? We supposed to be having the Sunday afternoon gaff, right? So thank you guys for being here with me, and it's a pleasure sharing your time with me as well. So see you on Monday. Do have a great weekend. Remember to stay safe. Remember to live in love and harmony. Remember, we are one people. And remember, in order for us to work together, we must have the same common goal that we are aiming for, and that is to make a brighter future for our future generations. So thank you guys for being here, and I will see you when I see you again.
Look down from your window, no big city lights, just greenery. I don't know what you come for. Listen up, my dear, we're such a man free. Welcome to the land of many faces, not one, not two, but 6 different races. You know when the sun kisses your skin, you're in the right place. G-U-I-A-N-N, oh, that's my beautiful country. G-U-I-A-N-N, one people, one nation, one destiny. Don't stop for a minute. Come, let me take a walk with Brother Tiki. You'll see our landmarks and our monuments. They're so unique. The high brick structure in a lighthouse, the tallest wooden structure, cathedral, 176th Street, monuments, and a beautiful city hall. You know with the wind in your hair, you're in the right place. G-U-I-A-N-N, oh, that's my beautiful set your mind free.